It is happening, fam. Javi Simmons' future is in the English Premier League. He has confirmed, despite it being a dream of his to play for FC Barcelona. I'm here to tell you about whether him and another player who has been linked with Man United, whose buyout clause is laughable, are the perfect plan B, or perhaps even should be the plan A for Ruben Amorim in the summer transfer window. Victor Gyokeres and Javi Simmons. Are they the two Man United should be going for? Give me your opinion, drop down a comment, and let me know what you think. I do remind you to register and train. Learn how to use the internet to earn for yourself because people are already doing it. They are loving it. They are appreciating it. The internet is a divine, God-given opportunity to we people, especially we Africans who do not earn so much money, to start earning money that is enough for us to make a living. It is possible. It is doable. We've done it. Some of us have done it. So we believe in it. We know what exactly is supposed to be done. So you better learn as well and be sure to make some passive income for yourself. But let's get into it. So there's a report that has come in now, which clearly, of course, from Fabrizio and all these big people about Javi Simmons and how he has made it clear to RB Leipzig that he will be looking to move on from RB Leipzig in the summer as he's a young player. This is again him, and this was in an interview recently. He said, I'm a young player and I made this clear to the club. He's only 22, just turned 22. So he's a young player who has got big ambitions for himself. Remember, he just joined RB Leipzig permanently in January for about 42 million pounds. But right now, it is clear if any club will be able to price him out of the contract he has with RB Leipzig, where he's still wanted, they still want to keep him longer, but he's a player who wants to leave. So you can literally say he put in his transfer request to the club. But the thing is, you've got to pay nearly double that. You've got to pay at least 62 million pounds to be able to sign him from RB Leipzig in the summer. Now, I'm talking a 20-year-old Dutch international who certainly, for me, if you look at how Javi Simmons play, he's a good footballer. He has got the energy, the pace, and the work rate. Defensively, he contributes, plays mostly as an inverted winger, usually on the left, whereas he's right-footed. You probably would say he's like an Alejandro Garnacho, but perhaps a slightly better Alejandro Garnacho. Again, we cannot be sure about that because Garnacho has been seen in the Premier League, which is a tougher league. Javi Simmons, if you judge him by what he does in the leagues he has played at, even in Europe, for RB Leipzig, you see that he's perhaps slightly better than Garnacho. But there's no guarantee that he would be the same player if he joined Man United because, again, we've seen players lose it when they join Man United. But Javi Simmons is that player that Man United is being linked with seriously. And 62 million pounds could be the fee or thereabout. Is Man United able to get that money? Perhaps if they have a budget for a number 10, if they are planning, if they have held talks with Matthews Cunha, clearly they have plans for a player in that position. So the debate would be rather, is it Cunha or Javi Simmons? Who do they go for as one of the two number 10s? Because what's a given, I think, is Man United will buy a number 10. So is it Simmons or Cunha? If it were up to you, for me, whereas Simmons is slightly younger than Cunha, and I have reservations about Cunha's attitude and temper, I would perhaps low-key have a thing for Javi Simmons. But as a footballer, Cunha is definitely a better footballer, a more proven footballer in the Premier League. So if it were up to me to call the shot, who would I go for? I would perhaps, considering what I've seen Amorim do, showing a bit of parental, relationship. Let me call it that with Cunha. Maybe he can be able to tame him, and for that reason, I would go for Cunha because he's proven in the Premier League. It's very difficult to go against a player who is proven in the Premier League. It's very difficult. So Cunha has that. Javi Simmons, same amount, quite expensive, quite pricey for a club like Man United now, but there is no guarantee he would perform because of the demands and how much time he would need to adapt to the Premier League. So for me, that's the only disquiet. That's why I would go for Cunha. But these are two players who perhaps are on the list. I told you INEOS' new way of working is they come up with a list of players they want in each position. So, like I said, they are looking at sorting the forward positions first, and Javi Simmons has always been on the list of those players they can go for. He wants the Premier League, whereas Barcelona is his dream club. But what is bound to happen? We are waiting to see where he would go. The other player is Victor Gyokeres. We do know we want a striker. Man United want to sign a striker. We've spoken about Liam Delap. We've spoken about talks with several. I don't think Cunha is looked at as a striker. I think Cunha is a 10, but I'm talking a number 9, a Hoyland, sort of, that Hoyland position. And you talk of Liam Delap. Of course, people want Victor Osimhen. But now, with Victor Gyokeres, it is being revealed now that he has got a buyout clause that's quite affordable. A buyout clause of £60 million that has been confirmed now is his buyout clause. For a player like Gyokeres, hottest striker in Europe, certainly is not too much. For Man United, might sound like it's too much money for United to have now and spend. But if you think about it, if they really need the player, imagine if the swap deal of Rashford, Aston Villa pay the 40 million quid, Man United gets that 40, look for 20 to get Gyokeres. That would be massive, don't you think? Because the 20 they can get, they can find. I think that would be good business done. So you're looking at Man United spending 40, rather 20, that is in cash, 20 plus the 60 for Simmons, that would be 80. Or 20, that's the cash spent on Gyokeres. If you've got 40 from Aston Villa for Rashford, then you add on the 20 from Chelsea, perhaps for it should be 25. Okay, 25 from Chelsea for Jadon Sancho if they choose to take him on a permanent. That's already 65 million. So that's enough to buy one of the two. So you buy Gyokeres, then try to look for means of funding the cash for the number 10. I think it can be done. I mean, these all cuts that have been made by INEOS, cutting everything, canteen meals, allowances, fuel, what have you, everything they have cut. I think they should have been able to find ways of collecting more money, at least 80 or 100 million quid, to add on what they can get from the sale of players and be able to buy players in the summer. So, if that were the case, do you think Man United should invest that 120 million in these two? This is plan B now. Simmons and Gyokeres. Or should it be 60, drop Simmons, sign Cunha, same amount, 60 million from Wolves, and Gyokeres? Or is it Simmons and Delap? Because Delap is way cheaper. Or do you go a swap deal? Go Simmons, for example, or Cunha and Gyokeres in a swap and cash to Napoli, sending Hoyland. Not Gyokeres, rather, Osimhen, sending Hoyland to Napoli, pay about an extra 20 million cash and give them Hoyland, you get Osimhen. But that would mean you would need now another striker as a backup for Osimhen, or perhaps even two. Maybe a Chido promoted and then another. Would need to buy one if you're completely losing Rasmus Hoyland. It's a tricky situation. I want to pick your mind. What do you think should be done? Play the math for me in your head. How do you see it? If you were Ruben Amorim, how would you play those cards based on the players Man United is linked with and what you know when it comes to Man United finances? Subscribe, like, share, and drop a comment. Catch you later.